Yo, it's D.Arthur in the building. I'm speaking to you guys today about semen retention, intense energy, female attraction 10x. When you decide to go on semen retention slash no fap specifically, you are going to have intense energy. You're going to have more energy than usual. Now, usually, what's going to happen to you is that your energy levels are going to be high, but the thing is, you have to know how to channel this energy. When you're on no fap for a good amount of time, you have this in you. You might have this aggression in you. You might notice that you have aggression. You have aggression in you. You tolerate a little bit less. You tolerate less. You have masculine energy in you. You actually sometimes you might actually want people to try you just because you have some output that you want out. And if you use this properly, you really can transmute your life and get a hold of it in a very nice way. You just have to be able to handle this. Now, bottom line is the whole community, do not make semen retention your god. Because there's guys talk about 3-5 years on retention. It's like what's gonna happen to you is that you might be able to, think a little bit more critically. You might be more you might come across as more wise. You might come across as stoic. You might come across as more masculine. Now, the pendulum swing is both ways, because you might also notice that there's disastrous things that maybe start happening to you, or you might get unfortunate circumstances and things happen to you as well too. You have to realize this. This also can happen is because you're under distress. One thing about no fap and going on and retaining for a while is that because you're under a lot of tension inside, this may catapult out. You might feel stress. You can see there's different people who sometimes they feel at ease. They're just at ease all the time, and because you've been retaining, you have this tension in you that is not solved. It translates to things. You just might come across as more tense, maybe even less of a people person. It just goes to show what happens when you're on it, what you do when you're on it. You have to be able to express yourself and be able to attract viable options in your life. This is a skill set. I'll be honest here, going on 100, 200 days of retention is not necessarily an accomplishment. Now, this might come across as whoa, but what I'm saying is, going for a long, it's not, you shouldn't be, we shouldn't have first of all, we shouldn't have streaks. Just think about how crazy this is. We have guys talking about, I've been on this long of semen retention. This is, you didn't accomplish anything. That literally doesn't mean anything. You just gone on, bro, come on, you have to think more critically. This is what I'm talking about. There has to be more to it. What are you trying to accomplish in your life? That has to be talked about. Going on retention doesn't mean anything if you don't do anything. And it really, a lot of guys just do it. We have people on, they say cope. Sure, let's even call it cope. we could even call it cope. And I'm sure that that could also happen. But all I'm saying is that there's a lot of people who are expressing. They're expressing it they're doing this big accomplishments just because they've gone on semen retention for a good amount of time. This is what happens, and sure, your life may transmute to something better. You might be feeling really good about yourself, but that is that just comes down to what it is. It just makes you feel good about yourself. But what else are you doing? Because you can go on it for a long period of time, but you can accomplish no goals. At some point, you have to make some progress. There has to be some progress made in areas of your life. This is the whole point of it. This is not just to go on a streak so you can tell your peers, I've been this long on semen retention. Look at me. There's a dude talking about 3 to 5 years Sure, go ahead and do that, but what else are you solving in your life? This is meant to solve problems. We're doing this because it's meant to solve problems. There's guys who do it and their life is still the same. So what's the whole point of you doing it if your life is still the same? There has to be some things that you do differently to try to get a different result. People can call it cope. Sure, call it cope. There's a lot of guys who are cope. You have to work on things. This is all I'm saying. And when you go on NoFap, when you go on and you've been abstaining from sexually explicit material, because guys can go on it for a very long time, but they're still watching things on Instagram, things like that. You're not really on a streak then. You have to get it right. There has to be no sexual explicit. You have to not suffer from erectile dysfunction, because if you're on retention and you go on Instagram, it's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to you. You have to realize this. So do the right things. Go on a clean streak. Actually hit your goals. Do things to help better your life. And you still have to work on attracting. If you still have to work on the skill set of attracting women. There's guys who this is what guys do. They make it seem like, oh, it's not that a big deal. We're not worried about females. Yada yada yada. This is what they're saying to make themselves feel better for their lack of results. This is exactly what it is. This is anybody who says this because life is intended to be for procreation. So you have to work on the skill set. But there's going to be guys who are on whatever days, and they're gonna say, "Oh, I'm not worried about that." Like, bro, this is not a replacement. We're not replacing things. We have to have areas of our life solved, and we have to work on them all the time. So we can't be making these like excuses to say that we're just doing this so we're good. That's not. You're missing the entire point. Some people use this as a way for them to neglect some areas of your life, and actually you're making the problem a lot worse. So realize that. So sure, there's gonna be some you might come across as more attractive, but in a real case, it's because of like how you're feeling about yourself. You might, especially what I realize is when you've done the grooming on your physical self. You've done the grooming, you've done some things to create yourself, you're going to get more choosing signals. You're going to get more choosing signals, I promise. You have to work on your grooming. That's how you get the choosing signals. That's how you get your foot in the door. And then from that point on, it's easier because it looks like you have options. This is what it has to be. So, they say things like female attraction, 10x. It's not solely based off you being on semen retention that you're getting female attraction. Sure, that can happen. Sure, you might come across as a bit more, masculine, but the end all be off is how you present yourself. This is how you're going to get to the choosing signals, the attraction. It's how you present yourself. Don't let anybody else mistaking, because they are going to say every single thing. They're 250 days plus on semen retention. Look at me. Oh, this is so great, bro. Like, what else are you doing with your life? Like, come on. Like, we can talk about this forever, but it's just like, what else are you doing? There has to be things that you're actually doing, that you're showcasing by doing this, because this is self-improvement. They're talking about, oh, you're gonna attract the right girl. You're not. You have to put in active work to try to actually acquire things. She's just gonna come straight out the sky. You're just randomly gonna bump into her. Like, this is how your fellow man thinks. You're getting led astray. This is how your common man thinks. They think they can sit in their bedroom the entire day, their entire life, say things like they're going on retention, they're doing all these things to better themselves, and then when they come out and go into social interactions, they don't know how to interact with themselves. They don't know how to interact with other people. These are skill sets that you have to learn, but you want to be in your bed all day, sit on your computer, not working on other things, neglect things in your life. You will pay for it sooner or later, because you're just not going to get the results that you want. And then you're gonna say that you've been on 300 days plus of semen retention, but you haven't done the work. You haven't worked on the things. There's guys who. So the reason why you're gonna get female attraction when you're on NoFap is because you're presenting yourself in the right way, and now you feel good about yourself. You have good energy, and now you can go ahead and carry a conversation with anybody because you're down to earth, and you feel at ease. This is exactly what it is. This is exactly how you have to get yourself up to. But if you're fapping regularly, these things are probably not going to happen to you. You're going to be in your head, and it's not going to happen for you. With that being said, now if you want to copy and paste some of these things in your actual life to actually get you results in terms of your relationships, your health, and your wealth in your all areas of your life, you want a proven strategy, copy and paste system to help you get better results in your health, your relationships, your wealth, your business life, anything like that. 3 aspects of your life. Make sure you book a free strategy call down below. Check out the High Value Blueprint. This is an intensive coaching program, one-on-one. We work with you, questionnaires that you fill out to help you implement and make a transformation in your life. With that being said, like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you in the next one.